I am the famous American, and I have a theory that I created. I want to share it with you. So my home state is Alabama. When you think of a very southern state, if you even think about Alabama, then you would think of that as a stereotypically southern state. Well, that's how I feel about Texas as well. And I've been to Texas a few times in my life, but I've always joked that Texas is like its own country. And as I talk to people who are from Texas and I say that, hey, the way I feel about your home state is you guys basically act like you're in your own country. They always laugh because that's barely a joke. People from Texas basically act like Texas is its own country, separate from the United States. And I bet most of them wish it was, for all they care. I respect the concept of Texas. It's funny because I live in Tennessee now, but the concept even a few weeks ago, Texas was the leader in doing away with the mask, making that a mandate. And then my home state of Alabama followed. And so here in a few weeks, no more masks, you know. And it's funny here in American culture, people who are politically conservative are typically the ones who have kind of brushed off the whole concept of COVID. Yeah, I got COVID last December, and I've had a lot worse sinus infections compared to having COVID. So it's not something I've taken seriously. And a lot of people who identify as politically conservative typically think that way. Well, Texas, what does it say about the people who live in Texas that they were the first to do away with the mask mandate? You know, so it's interesting to see that because, like I said, Alabama was one of the first states to follow. Alabama being a much smaller state, but they're cousins. Texas and Alabama are absolutely cousins. They have so much culturally in common. It's just that Texas is a lot bigger. So I'm making this video, basically anyone out there, especially if you're from Texas and you can relate to that, would you agree that Alabama is like one of your cousins? Like, we get along just fine. Culturally and demographically, I feel we're quite similar. You can get a person from Texas and a person from Alabama. It's pretty much, there's less of a cultural difference. And yet you could generically say, oh, well, that's all people in the South. I say specifically, though, there's something about Texas and Alabama, and maybe I can't quite put a finger on. Maybe that's where this video ends, is you help me sort this out. Why do I feel that way? Why do I, being an Alabamian, being born and raised there, why do I think, what's the state most similar to us? Is it Tennessee that borders us? Is it Georgia that borders us? No, I feel Texas is going to be it somehow. Help me sort this out. I want to explore this, and maybe you will be the reason I make a sequel to this video. Your comments are right here.